Don't change the show.
This is Border Crossings. My name is Larry London, and I'll join you for the next 30 minutes as we get to know the story behind Los Angeles rockers, the Rex. Nick Anderson and Andrew D'Angelo formed the band a few years back with Aaron Kelly, Nick Schmidt, and Billy Nally. They released their debut EP, We Are the Rex, in 2016. The band are currently on tour for their newest CD, Panic Vertigo. The Rex have been featured on satellite radio here in the U.S., and their music has attracted over 6 million streams on Spotify. Get ready for Border Crossings with the Rex, coming up next. Hi, this is Larry London. Welcome to Border Crossings. We've got a group of guys who are on tour right now for their debut EP, and they're here in D.C. We would like to welcome to the Voice of America, the Rex. It's great to have you guys here.
Hello, Voice of America.
Hey. Thanks for having us.
First of all, the Rex. That's an interesting name for a band. What made you choose the Rex?
Oh, nothing. Just it was in a dream.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I was in a car wreck in a dream. Woke up and thought, that is fitting.
Surprisingly, wasn't taken, right?
Yeah, and it wasn't taken.
Except by a Jersey
Jersey
cover
80s
band,
cover
I think,
band.
yeah.
But you know, just
worked it out.
yeah, worked it out. We they're tied up somewhere.
But you're the only one that matters right now in the scheme of things.
You know,
the only Rex that are out
it's all
there.
subjective.
What are your names? You guys introduce yourselves.
I'm Weston.
I'm Nick.
I'm Schmiz.
Billy.
And you guys are from the Jersey area for the most part?
These guys are.
Yeah, we
these
are.
Jersey boys.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm from Western New York, and as is Weston, except for his brief stints in Germany and China.
Wow.
And then our bassist, who is not here at the moment, is from Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
We live in Los Angeles now, but we all separately grew up near the East Coast. Yeah.
What part of Los Angeles? I used to live in Calabasas.
So we were up in Thousand Oaks.
Okay.
And then when we started the band, we were like living on our manager's couch and stuff to get the band started. And then and now we're a bit nomadic. He's got a place near Echo Park and near downtown, and the rest of us just kind of
Couch surf.
couch surf. Yeah.
At the moment, yeah.
In
It's a
between
great
tours.
place to be if you're putting
Yeah.
out music and doing music. And so how long have you been doing this group? I mean, the Rex have been together for...
November of 2015 as a full band, yeah.
Mhm.
So a little over 2 years, but we certainly we wasted no time in the beginning. So we were touring within the couple months that we started, just because we did spent all of our time working on the band and getting it going, and yeah.
Were you doing music as solo artist before this, or have you always been a part of a band, or how did this all come together?
We've all been in like local bands, like from our hometowns before this.
Yeah, we played plenty of benefits or bars when you're playing for the bartender and no one else.
VFWs.
Bartender and your dad.
Yeah, we've done plenty of those like individually, and so we all come from kind of the same. None of us were in some big band, or we weren't like kind of like picked out or anything like that. It's just kind of we all knew each other from other bands and projects, and I was starting this band, and I knew these guys were really talented, and I asked them to join it, and they all agreed to just move right to Los Angeles and do it with me. So
how would you describe your music? I mean, a lot of bands hate to be put in a box, or get a label attached, but the way to make it in the U.S. is you have to fit into a format.
Yeah, sure.
So what's your lane? Where do you guys feel comfortable?
I think alternative rock is a really good bubble to for us to be in, because that allows you to go any which way. So it's rock music. It's a little
But it's alternative.
But it's alternative.
High energy.
Alternative to what? That's what I always ask.
I don't know.
Well,
I think
That's kind of the fun of it
honestly.
anymore, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if there's so many alternative bands that are just kind of like, it's just a name for everything else.
Yeah, right, yeah.
That's not in a lane. I don't know.
Well, we want to hear some live music, so if you guys wouldn't mind doing a song,
Yeah,
we'll figure out what you guys do after we check you out.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
What do you want to play first?
We'll do Way with Words
Sure,
first.
yeah.
Here they are, the Rex, live on Border Crossings.
I dropped your things off late last night. I saw your mom, she said goodbye. Is that what you wanted? I drove back down past Island Park. That bridge looks better after dark. Is this where we lost it? Go on and take back, go on and take time, act like the last time and nothing is. You think I waited up all night, you're out of your damn mind, don't lie to yourself. Nothing you could say is gonna change the way I hate your guts right now. Go on and take back, go on and take back everything. Hey, to break a promise, go on and say that, go on and say I'm lost to faith. Hey, but let's be honest, you got away, you got away, you got away, you got away with words, you got away with words. Would I get away with words?
All right, the Rex, right here in D.C. on The Voice of America. So in 2016, you put out your first single, and it did very well for you. I read where it had like 8-9 million Spotify streams. That's huge.
Yeah, that was really crazy that song did so well. Because we started the band by kind of sneaking into a recording studio to record it. I basically had like a demo for it, asked these guys to join the band, and they drove across the country immediately. And then within that first week that they were there, I got a call from this girl who said, "Hey, I'm house sitting for this guy who's got a recording studio, like a home studio. If you want to come over and just drink some wine and record a cover of a song or something like that." And I thought that sounds fun, whatever. And I went over there and I noticed it was an entire studio. It wasn't just some guy's home setup, right? He had a whole live drum room and 18 different snare drums, and he's got the amps and everything. So I called the guys. I was like, "You guys got to get over here." Like because we had no money at the time. We were all working part-time jobs, or Schmiz and I were doing medical studies to fund the band at first. Clinical studies where they test unapproved medication on you and
wonderful.
give you a check at the end of the week. Yeah.
My parents don't even know that yet.
Growing tails.
They might know it now.
Border crossing. Yeah. So we had no money, so this was an option for us to get our music out and record it. And I had some limited recording experience, but our roommate Andrew was pretty good behind a computer and knew how to run a lot of the gear, and so him and I just kind of co-produced it, and we didn't really know what we were doing. We just had 3 days or so to while this guy wasn't home, and because he was in Japan, I believe. And she said, the girl who let us in, she said, "All right, you've got from like 5 p.m. to 9 a.m. every day to come in, and you can't be here during the day because his ex-wife is going to come home and give the diabetic cat its shots. So you can't be around for that, or else we'll get busted." So we did it, and there was no time or room for mistake or error or second guessing. You just kind of did. We just kind of made, and we did our whole EP, our first EP that way, and we just put out the first single. We didn't really know how to mix music or we just kind of did it, and then hope for the best, and that single ended up hitting the top 40 on all radio, and it helped us begin touring and doing everything that we're doing now, and that song just changed our lives forever, and it's just crazy.
Put you on the map.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to do, and amazing things can happen.
Right. Favorite Liar is the song we're talking about.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
So, I mean, you're in this guy's house. Does he know? Did he know?
He still doesn't know. Has no
Still
idea.
to this
I don't
day.
know what his name is or where his house is anymore. They seem to remember. Yeah.
There's like a
That
little
sounds
hint.
like my amp.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you guys are touring, it's not acoustic, right?
No,
I mean,
yeah.
It's pretty
No.
loud. This is very
Pretty
different
loud.
for what
This
you
is very
normally do.
different. Yeah, we're actually a lot of these songs are new, especially the one we just played. So even the acoustic versions, we just kind of we haven't really practiced them. We just kind of
go for
we just
it.
know the parts well enough to say, all right, we're gonna show up and just play it. Then I suppose. So but it's fun for us. We just enjoy performing the songs, and they're usually written on an acoustic, so they translate pretty well.
Right. Well, when you're really good as you guys are, you can show up and just do it.
You
You can make. I mean, there's been shows I'm sure you've been on stage where you weren't into it, but you had to play and you had to do it, and you did it. You made
Growing
it
up,
happen.
for sure, yeah. But yeah, I mean, the live show is definitely very energetic, and we pride ourselves in trying to capture a crowd because we do a lot of support tours as a new band. We're the opening act, so we've got a crowd to win over. So we take pride in the fact that we really enjoy watching people's faces light up.
What's been the biggest show for you so far?
I would
Oh.
say probably. I think it's still like Central Park Summer
Oh.
Stage.
Oh yeah, in New York
Oh,
City.
that's a big stage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
it
were
was
the
fun.
support act. Our biggest own headlining show is coming up. It'll be in Arizona on May 4th. It's going to be about 1,500 people, and that'll be a really special day
Crazy.
for us. I'm really excited.
Yeah,
That's
super
great.
excited.
Now, when you're on stage, you jump into the crowd. You do that.
Yeah, we crowd surf.
You
and,
do,
and-
yeah.
oh yeah, I did a stage dive the other day.
probably
I
killed
might
somebody.
have killed like a
Yeah.
15-year-old girl. I feel pretty bad for the girl in the front row, but yeah, sometimes you're just caught in the heat of the moment. And you just go for it.
Just
Yeah.
literally dive into the crowd.
Catch some waves.
Yeah.
Well, you want to be a big enough band to draw enough people so that you can jump into the
Exactly.
crowd
Yeah,
and have somebody that catch
That's a
you.
real incentive
There
right
was-
there. at the
Well,
end
what
of the
happened
day.
during our headline? We just did a headlining tour this past fall, and I made the mistake of saying before our last show in a sold-out show in Philly, and this happened again in Baltimore, where I said, "Hey, if you crowd surf, I want you to join me on stage."
Uh-oh.
So that turned into 3 people or 4 people crowd surfing immediately, but then because they were on stage, everyone said, "All right, we're gonna go on stage now."
Yeah, I wanna
So
be
We're not
our
gonna
stage
crowd surf,
was
we're
just
gonna jump.
completely packed with people. There was like probably 60 to 80 people on stage, and then there was about 250 people off the stage.
Not a
Uh-oh.
big
And
stage
Tons of
either.
broken gear.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
just
they're
diving
just-
onto the concrete.
On the, like,
I literally
stomping
get
everywhere
shoved to
on
the
our
back during
pedal
that time. I'm just like, all right, it's like the last song we're playing. I'm just like, I'm just gonna like leave now. I was like, no one can see me anyway. There's like 100
Give
people.
somebody
on the
like
stage.
your guitar on stage.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, like you could play this if you want. I'll
play a
see you
couple
guys
your G
later.
chord, whatever.
Yeah, really. I remember turning around and not being able to see any one of the guys in the band. I like had to like. Luckily, I'm like tall, so I
You're
could
like-
poke my head up, and I was like, oh, shit.
We'll be finishing a song, and like I remember like one time like a fan like stepped on my volume pedal and like pretty much shut my guitar off, and like I had no option to go back and turn it back on. So I was just like,
All right, just walk off.
well,
now. Yeah,
you
both
know,
of
what
our
are you
guitars
gonna
went
do?
out. It was fun though.
We're talking to the Rex who are in our studios, and you got a DC show coming
We
up.
do tonight.
Well, it's
Well, Silver Spring, Maryland.
Silver Spring?
Yeah.
Close enough.
Close enough.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
call it a DC show.
Cool.
Yeah.
And you're promoting the new album, the new EP, Panic Vertigo.
Vertigo.
Tell me about the new EP.
Oh man, I wish I could say that the story was boring compared to the first one, but it was also pretty good. We we signed a record deal over this past year, going into 2017, and we were giving a budget, and they're like, okay, now you don't need to break into a studio, you don't need to do medical studies. Here's money to go record your new EP.
A legit album, yeah.
And so we did it in Los Angeles with this producer, and we thought, all right, we're doing it the right way. This is the way every band does it. And for the first time, I wasn't really producing the music, and then after 3 weeks of working with someone else, we kind of I don't know if it's because our vision was too ambiguous going in, but the songs were not our band. After 3 weeks, we're like, great, we just spent all this money that the label gave us, and we hate the songs.
Right.
And we're just not, it wasn't even an option in our heads to put, oh, well, I guess we could put this out. Like, we didn't even consider it. It was like,
right.
no, this is not our
It's
band.
not true to who you
Trying
are.
to salvage
Yeah.
them at first.
Yeah, so what we did was we tried to fix them. We're like, okay, give us the files, give us the sessions, we'll try to fix it. And then it was like, these are unsalvageable, we need to redo them. And so we kind of concocted this plan where we had this call with our management and our label, and we said, all right, we want to move into my grandma's house in Wellsville, New York, which is western New York, near Buffalo area. And I said, we're going to drive 45 minutes every day, and we're going to go to a barn. And there's a studio in that barn, and we're going to record the EP ourselves. And after about a minute of crickets, they said, well, we've got no money, so go for it. Yeah.
Wow.
And so we did it, and we did it our own way. And we it's kind of that thing where you just feel like a kid in a toy shop where you don't know what you're doing, and you just kind of, you're throwing stuff against the wall and hoping it sticks, and you're just exploring your own creativity without anyone there to say like, oh, that's wrong, or you're not supposed to do that. We went up to like a Wurlitzer that has all these buttons for different instruments that you can play on this keyboard, and those buttons make a nice click sound. And I thought, what if 4 of us all click a different button and we record that and we put it on top of a snare, so it goes like every time, so it makes this really
Very
nice texture.
satisfying sound.
So we thought, okay, I don't think a producer would have said, hey, go. I mean,
Right.
a lot would, because there's a lot of amazing creative producers, but that just wouldn't. It was just the kind of thing where it's a bunch of kids in a studio who are just making it up as they go. And we did almost the whole EP there. One song we did with a friend of ours in Los Angeles, but yeah, it was a really rewarding and I don't know, I just loved it. It's a memory that I'll always have. Is all of us Whether they were miserable in the middle of nowhere or not, I really enjoyed being near my
Slim
town.
options,
and
right, so-
Yeah. it was
Did you
cool
use
to-
a loop pedal at all? Because it sounds like if you're using different sounds, you have the creative opportunity that you don't need to bring in all kinds of music, all kinds of instrumentation. You can create your own stuff, sounds, and
Yeah, well, what we'll do is we'll just record it, and you know, you record one of those sounds, and you record the clicks a couple different times, and you'll stack them on top of each other in the program. Then you'll just kind of loop that over inside in Pro Tools or whatever program you're using, and but we found ourselves able to do a lot of live stuff. You know, instead of like a lot of producers might just program the tambourine. You can just grab a sample of the right BPM or whatever. But why do that? We've got a whole studio at our own disposal, so Billy just goes out and play. You know, it's
very
just
organic.
really fun to play very organic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like throwing sticks at books and stuff.
Oh yeah, we were like,
Claps and
we were
stuff.
doing the dumbest
funny.
stuff. It was so much fun, and,
But it worked
and
out
we
very
actually played one of his guitar solos. It had a speed picking part where you have to play just really fast, and it's not really his style of playing. So he grabbed a fidget spinner, and he spun it as fast as he could, and he put it against a string, and it just go. And it was really cool, and it's really interesting. And then we put it all on reverb, and it made this really cool sound. And there was just so many things like that where it was just a bunch of kids being dumb in a studio, and now we put it out on Sony Music. Yeah.
Hey, it works, you know.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the first time that somebody had recorded in a barn or a haunted house or something
Right.
other than a studio.
Yeah.
So the acoustics must be different. I mean, when
Well,
you're
to
in
be
a barn,
fair, it's a very
It's a nice
It's
studio.
a pretty finished studio.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just happens
Grandma
to be
rocks
in-
out. Is that what you?
it's like a really nice it's like a kind of like a studio, no, not studio apartment, but it's like an apartment above this barn, so it's not really quite the basement, or sorry, the garage area, I guess you would call it, of the barn is where we would rehearse and stuff. But the upstairs it's a pretty nice finished studio.
Because
but-
visually you get the picture of the cows and the chickens. And
Right, Oh, right, yeah,
there
yeah,
you
yeah.
are,
It
and the
wasn't
tractor
like in the
behind
middle
you.
of the woods.
There is a tractor.
There is a tractor.
Oh yeah. There was also a gator. We were ripping around in the backyard. Whenever you
Donuts,
take a break, you just fire up the gator and start ripping around the backyard.
Get
We've
stressed.
got the Rex on the show today, so if you guys would do some more music, we'd love to hear something else. Now that you're tuned and ready to go, what are we doing now?
We can do the single Favorite Liar. Why don't we do Favorite Liar? We'll do the
So
one
tell me
where
the
we-
inspiration of the song.
Oh well, this is the one that we snuck into that studio to record with the
Right.
first EP, and it was just I wrote it about a time in a relationship, because all of our songs all the stories are all real things that have happened, and it's just about when you look back on a relationship and you only tend to look at the good things, because then that's what makes you happy or sad about it, or that's what invokes emotion, but you kind of forget why you broke up in the first place. So it's about that realization, like, oh yeah, that was great, and I do miss you, and this is a great thing that we had, but also
That sucked.
you're kind
Does
of a
she
bad
know you
person.
wrote that song?
For
her,
not a
whoever
bad
she-
person, but yeah, she knows.
Okay.
We're close.
All
Still. Yeah.
Here they are, the Rex. Favorite Liar.
I remember going out to see the big rocks. Went without you knowing. Hope you're not too mad. I go alive. I go alive. I remember weekends before we got too cool for them. And I remember thinking maybe we could just pretend tonight. For just tonight. I wanna wake up with you. I wanna wake up feeling tired. I wanna wake up with you. I wanna lay there for a while. But that don't change that you're a liar, a liar. Hold yourself up higher and higher. I'm not buying the things you ought to say. Heard of all now anyway. You're such a lie, my favorite lie. I remember weekends fighting over everything, and I can almost taste it. The bloody lip you left me with that night. Kiss me one last time. I wanna wake up with you. I wanna show you what it's like. And I wanna be the one to got room to grow. I know I'm missing home, but you think I'm alone. And I think you should know that I've got pretty girls. Yeah, I got pretty girls taking me home. I've got room to grow. I know I'm missing home, but you think I'm alone. And I think you should know that I've got pretty girls. Yeah, I've got pretty girls taking me home. I wanna wake up with you. I wanna lay there for a while. And I wanna wake up with you. I wanna wake up feeling love. It's just too bad that you're a liar. Casting your fire, your fire. 'Cause I will never be less than what you want. I've got good news ahead, and I'll just start a fire. A fire. Liar, liar. Oh, just higher and higher. I'm not buying the things you wanna say. I've heard them all now anyway. You're such a liar. My favorite liar. I remember waking up in Colorado. You said that it was raining. I tried to hide away, but you said no. You made me loathe the rain.
Wow, sounding great. The Rex, yes. Favorite liar. Over, what, 9 million or so downloads. I guess that's huge. Where do you remember where you were when you heard your song on the radio for the first time? I mean, that's
remember
going to be
exactly
something
where we
that
were. Yeah.
you're going to carry with you for the rest of your career.
It was a night of night before our first ever tour that we were on. It was
We were
I think
in
April
Wisconsin.
2016, and we were in Wisconsin, and we were it was after a show we'd played, and we were all kind of like celebrating the night, you know, at a friend's apartment, and I got a Snapchat that we were on a Sirius XM's Alt Nation, and I was like, I didn't believe it, and so I went online and I like found the station and I saw that it was on, and I remember I looked around the room and I saw the guys in the band just kind of hanging out with friends and enjoying themselves, and I was just like, they have no idea. I was like, our lives are like could change from this, and like they have no clue. They're just like having, you know, it was just it was like a movie moment in my head, and so and I was like, hey, and so we celebrated the night a little harder.
And the new EP is called Panic Vertigo. And the title was that, did I read that it was inspired by actual panic attacks that you have?
Yeah. It's just it was a term that I just coined to try to explain a really bad anxiety attack that I had when I was about 18 or 19. I kind of felt like the room was really spinning, and I didn't have a grasp on not only like physically but also like temporally. I was like, where am I? What time is it? I don't, you know, I was just like very, it was just this wild panic attack, and I had felt that a few times, and it's just like the title track Panic Vertigo is about just trying to get past that and get over that and cope with it or deal with it or whatever you got to do, and finding hope and things like that. So it's just a way to articulate that feeling.
And a lot of people are coming out and opening up about some very personal things in their lives and talking about mental health, which is it seems to be in the forefront of people's minds right now. People are talking about it, which is a good thing because you can help a lot of people.
Yeah,
you know?
I was always ashamed of it when I was in high school, and I was bullied a bit in high school, but it was the depression. I had like depression in high school, and I've seemed to got a really good grasp on it now. It only comes in waves, but I remember being kind of ashamed of it and scared of it, and because you're already kind of getting made fun of for being different, and then you don't want to be like, it almost feels like an excuse, and you tell yourself all these things that are just not true, and to see young kids come out and I mean, people of all ages come out and just, adults. I think I'm more inspired by the adults who say, yeah, I suffer with depression and I have a normal job, and people might not know. And those are the people who inspire me maybe the most. It's just like, it's okay. It's fine. It's your brain. It's the way it's wired.
Right.
There's nothing you can do about that. So coming to terms with it is the most healthy thing that you can do. And it's a really good first step is to say, you know what? My I probably have depression, and today is a bad day. And that just telling yourself that goes a long way.
Right. And I mean, support system is key to people, and you have your brothers here.
I have a very good support system, and I'm surrounded by people who I really love, and it makes all the difference. But then there's and they understand too. There's sometimes it's an interview, or sometimes it's something I'm like, guys, I can't do it today. I can't, I just, I got to stay inside, and they understand that. And even right now, being able to openly talk about that and say it feels different than it felt 5-6 years ago when I was growing up.
Got to feel good now. To be able to not be judged or anything.
Right. It's just a fact of life, and it's just coming to terms with who you are. I mean, it's the same thing. I think. You
can turn your experience into something that can help a lot of people. Remember that you are a role model for a lot of people.
Which is wild.
Yeah,
which is
well,
weird.
you never would have thought that about yourselves, I mean, but here you are.
Yeah.
So tell me about the studio album. I mean, you've put out 2 EPs now. Normally that's followed by a studio album. What's the plan for the Rex?
We have written a lot of songs, and we're ready to go on a studio album. We probably want to write 100 more, but we'll see. We might get in and start maybe recording some songs this summer after we tour and do some festivals and stuff. And it depends on how it feels. We'll probably, and it depends on what we want to do. Do we want to go to a producer again? Do we want to try it ourselves again?
Do it yourself.
So you never know. So we're gonna try out a few things and hopefully put together an album.
That's outstanding. Well, we got time for one more song.
Great.
If you guys would do another song for us.
Yeah, this is gonna be our new single. It's called James Dean.
Ooh, I like James Dean.
Well, it's an anti-James Dean song.
Oh, it's an anti-James Dean, so I better leave the room. It's the Rex.
Imagine for a minute you get up in the morning and get what you want. You look good in the mirror, your shirt is full of money, you're getting it on. Imagine being shallow, thinner than a shadow, thicker than wood. Imagine for a minute the way that I'd be living if only I could. I'm no James Dean, heartthrob, daydream, bad hair, black jeans, not cool, suits me. Girls won't take me, guys all hate me. Guess that must mean I'm no James Dean. James Dean. I got into Nirvana and smoking marijuana my first year in school. But you don't really wanna get busted by your mama if you wanna stay cool. She burst into the party and had an already started. She was looking crazed. She took away my joint, said, "Nigga, I'm disappointed. That's not how you were raised." But I'm no James Dean, heartthrob, daydream, bad hair, black jeans. I'm not cool. It suits me. Girls won't take me. Guys all hate me. Guess that must mean I'm no James Dean. I'm no James Dean. I think we all grow up thinking life is gonna be like the movies. But enough's enough, 'cause after all, you gotta get used to losing. 'Cause then you stand up, shake it up, show him all exactly just what you made of. I'm no James Dean, heartthrob, daydream, bad hair, black jeans. I'm not cool, it suits me. Girls won't take me, guys all hate me. Guess that Miss Jane.
Yes. Sounding great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, for you guys putting this together with no rehearsal, no preparation, you just kind of said, let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, we do a couple.
We've done like the last 2 here. We did those a couple times.
We're not so
you know.
irresponsible.
Yeah, we've done a couple.
Yeah, we've done this situation a couple times where we're like, all right, we're going for it. So
We
like,
certainly haven't rearranged the song to be acoustic. We're still just kind of playing electric guitar leads
it's
on
a
an
little,
acoustic.
like,
one.
harsh.
Sounds great.
Yeah,
I mean,
thank you
really
very
sounds
much.
great. Now, people around the world who are just meeting the Rex for the first time, they want to find out the tour schedule, they want to get the EP. Where do they go?
Yeah. So all of our socials and our website are We Are the Rex. So wearetherex.com and then at We Are the Rex for anything else.
Spell it for the international audience.
Yeah, WeAretheReCks. We Are the Rex. There's a lot of E's in that.
A lot of E's.
you won
And
the
you
spelling
guys
We like the
hopefully
vowels.
get to go to China. I know you lived there for a little while. so
Yeah,
that would be
so
cool.
that'd be
yeah.
amazing.
People in
Yes.
China tuning
Would
in
love
right
to
now.
play
Yeah,
over
you
there.
should say something to the Chinese
Yeah,
audience.
go ahead. Give us a little Mandarin. 普通话.
普通话，我们很快要去中国看你们。
What did you say?
We hopefully go to China soon to see you guys.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
谢谢.
Say thank you
谢
for
谢。
watching.
谢谢你们今天看我们。
Oh.
Sound great. Thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you for having
Yeah,
us.
thank you for
Love
having us.
meeting you
Appreciate it.
guys. Panic
Yeah,
Vertigo
thank
is
you.
the name of the debut EP here in 2018. These guys are on tour. Check them out. My name's Larry London, and this is Border Crossings.